If you are over 50 and you walk every day, you might think you are doing one of the best things possible for your health. And you probably are. But what if the way you are walking is quietly working against your heart, your joints, your balance, your blood sugar, even your brain? A lot of you will be wondering, can something as simple as walking really go wrong? Honestly, yes, it can. I'm Dr. Kevin Adewale, and I spend a great deal of my professional life helping adults stay mobile, independent, and genuinely well as they get older. By the end of this video, you will know the 7 walking mistakes I see most often and exactly how to fix them. Mistake 1, walking too gently all the time. One thing I notice in my own routine is that I never let every walk become the same slow wander, even on busy days. To be honest, after 50, comfort can become a trap. You go out, you move a bit, you come home feeling virtuous, but your body has barely been asked to adapt. And here's the thing, the body only upgrades when you give it a reason. If every walk feels like idling in a parked car, the engine never really warms up. Your heart, lungs, blood vessels, muscles, and even the tiny energy factories inside your cells respond to challenge. Not punishment, challenge. Think of brisk walking like turning up the water pressure in an old pipe just enough to keep it clear. Too little pressure and everything starts getting sluggish. Blood flow, conditioning, stamina, all of it. Stay with me because this matters, because a slightly faster pace is often the difference between a walk that simply feels nice and a walk that actually changes your future. There was a major study published in JAMA in 2011 that pooled data from more than 34,000 older adults and found that gait speed strongly predicted survival. Slower walkers had a higher risk of earlier death. Then there was research in the British Journal of Sports Medicine looking at self-reported walking pace, and brisker walkers had lower risks of all-cause and cardiovascular mortality, which, if you think about it, is actually quite remarkable for something so simple. Now, I'm not saying every walk needs to feel like a race. I'm not going to overstate the evidence here. You do not need to march around breathless to get benefit, but if all your walks are easy, all the time, you leave a lot of benefit on the table. So here's the practical fix. On most days, add 10 minutes where you walk fast enough that you can still talk, but singing would be annoying. That is a wonderfully simple test. Use it tomorrow. Right then. Once pace improves, the next mistake becomes much easier to spot. Mistake 2, folding your body forward and staring at the ground. I catch myself checking my posture when I walk to the car park because the human body loves shortcuts. The shoulders round, the head drops, the chest caves in, and before long you are not really striding. You are sort of pouring yourself forward. You know that shape. I see it all the time in everyday life. People think it is harmless because they are still moving, but honestly, posture changes the whole mechanics of the walk. Imagine trying to carry groceries with the handles twisted around your wrist. You can still do it, but everything becomes less efficient and more tiring. That is what poor posture does to breathing and balance. When your head sits too far forward and your upper back rounds, your lungs do not expand as well, your center of mass shifts, and your hips and knees start compensating. That means smaller steps, less confidence, and often more strain in the lower back and neck. A study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy followed older adults with excessive thoracic kyphosis, that rounded upper back posture many people develop with age. The posture and spine strengthening program improved alignment and physical function, and the long-term follow-up suggested those changes could persist. There is also newer gait research showing that excessive kyphosis in older adults can worsen balance and walking efficiency. That fits what I have seen for years. When the frame collapses, the movement underneath becomes less reliable. So what do? Keep your eyes about 15 to 20 feet ahead, not glued to your shoes. Let your breastbone feel gently lifted. Relax the shoulders down. I sometimes tell people to imagine a string from the crown of the head, lifting them upward while the ribs stay soft. Do not stiffen. Just lengthen. Walk 5 minutes like that tomorrow and notice how much easier it feels to breathe. Okay, so if your posture is better, the next question is obvious. Are you actually walking enough to matter? Mistake 3, thinking it only counts if you hit a huge number. This one frustrates me because it stops people before they even begin. They have heard 10,000 steps so many times that anything less feels pointless. So they do 2,000, decide they have failed, and give up. To be honest, that all or nothing mindset destroys more health than most people realize. I would much rather see you walk consistently at a realistic level than chase a heroic number for 3 days and then stop. The body does not care about neat marketing slogans. It responds to accumulated signals. A few thousand steps here, another short walk there, a brisk 10 minutes after lunch. That all adds up. Think of it like putting money into a savings account. Small deposits still count. In fact, they may be the reason the account grows at all. The worst mistake is waiting for the perfect day, the perfect hour, the perfect weather, and then doing nothing while your muscles quietly decondition. One of the most useful studies here was published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2019. It looked at more than 16,000 older women and found that mortality rates were lower, even around about 4,400 steps a day, compared with much lower step counts. Benefits continued as steps increased, but the point was crystal clear. You do not need 10,000 for walking to be meaningful. More recently, a large meta-analysis in the Lancet Public Health linked higher daily step counts with lower all-cause mortality across multiple cohorts. And here's the thing, once people hear that, they relax in the best possible way. They stop treating walking like an exam and start treating it like medicine. So tomorrow, set a floor, not a fantasy. Maybe your minimum is 4,000 steps. Maybe it is 15 minutes in the morning and 10 in the evening. Make it a target you can actually repeat. Repetition is where the magic is. Now, the next mistake is sneaky because some very active people still make it every single day. Mistake 4, doing one walk, then sitting for the rest of the day. I know plenty of disciplined people who get their morning walk done and then spend the next 10 hours almost completely still. They are proud of the walk, and fair enough, they should be. But the body does not give you a free pass for the rest of the day. Honestly, long periods of sitting can blunt some of the benefit you thought you had earned. That sounds unfair. I know, but biology is not sentimental. Your metabolism is more like a dimmer switch than an on-off button. When you move, muscles act like sponges for glucose and help keep circulation active. When you sit for long stretches, the signal fades. Blood sugar control worsens. Blood flow slows. Joints stiffen. Your hips get tighter, your ankles do less, and when you finally stand up, you feel older than you actually are. A lot of you will be wondering, does that really matter if I already exercised? Yes, it does. A meta-analytic review published in Sports Medicine found that interrupting prolonged sitting with short bouts of activity improved post-meal glucose and insulin responses. And a JAMA Network Open study in 2023 showed that step patterns across the week were linked with lower mortality, even when people did not hit a big number every single day. The wider message is simple. Movement spread through life seems to matter. So here is the fix. Keep the walk, absolutely. But add tiny movement snacks. 2 minutes every half hour. Stand during phone calls. Walk while the kettle boils. March in place before lunch. None of that sounds glamorous. And to be honest, that is precisely why people ignore it. But this is where health often changes. In the boring, repeatable moments. And if you're finding this useful, which I really hope you are, then please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone you care about. It genuinely helps these videos reach more people, and that matters to me because simple habits like this can change how well someone ages. Moving on. This next one is probably the most overlooked, especially if blood sugar, belly fat, or afternoon fatigue are part of the picture. Mistake 5, saving all your walking for one block and never walking after meals. I have a habit after my evening meal of getting up and moving, even if it is only for a short spell, because meals change the chemistry of the next couple of hours. This is where walking becomes more than exercise. It becomes timing. If you eat, then drop straight into the sofa. Your blood sugar has to be handled with less help from your muscles. If you walk soon after eating, those muscles start pulling glucose out of the bloodstream like extra workers arriving to unload a lorry. That is the everyday way to think about it. Food comes in, blood sugar rises, insulin gets to work, and your muscles can either help or stay passive. After 50, when insulin sensitivity often drifts in the wrong direction, that help matters more. This is especially true around dinner, because evening meals can be larger, and many people are less active afterwards. So the timing of a short walk can have an outsized effect. There was a lovely study in diabetes care in 2013 from Loretta DiPietro and colleagues that looked at older adults at risk of glucose intolerance. 3 15-minute post-meal walks improved 24-hour glucose control more than one continuous 45-minute walk. Stay with me, because this matters. The same total walking time, but better timing, which means the body is not just counting minutes. It is paying attention to when you move. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you this is a magic bullet. It isn't. Some of the louder claims online get ahead of the evidence. But this is one of those areas where the data and common sense line up beautifully. So tomorrow, after your biggest meal, walk for 10 to 15 minutes. Not a hard power walk, just a purposeful one. That single change can be surprisingly powerful. Now, once timing improves, we need to talk about what the rest of the body is doing while you walk. Mistake 6, walking stiffly with dead arms and your attention somewhere else. Watch people in a shopping center and you will see it immediately. One arm pinned by a handbag or a phone, the other barely moving, neck bent, upper body rigid, eyes half on the floor and half on a screen. You can still move like that, of course, but it is not good walking. It is fragmented walking. And when walking gets fragmented, balance usually gets worse. Arm swing is not decoration. It is part of your balance system. It helps counter-rotate the trunk, smooths your stride, and reduces wasted effort. Think of a tightrope walker using a pole. The pole is not there for style. It helps organize the body. Your natural arm swing does something similar on a smaller scale. Remove it, then add distraction, and suddenly your gait is less automatic and more vulnerable. Research on dual task walking in older adults consistently shows that adding a cognitive task changes gait speed and variability. There was a 2024 paper in Aging Clinical and Experimental Research showing that cognitive interference worsened gait parameters in older adults. And on the arm swing side, randomized studies of Nordic walking in older adults have shown improvements in balance, functional mobility, and quality of life compared with more ordinary walking patterns. Different studies, same message. Good walking is whole body walking. The practical fix is beautifully simple. Put the phone away for the main part of the walk. Let both arms swing naturally from the shoulders. Keep your hands loose. Every few minutes, do a quick scan. Are my arms moving? Is my jaw relaxed? Am I actually paying attention to where my feet are going? Honestly, that tiny reset can make you feel steadier almost immediately. And this brings me to the final mistake, and in some ways, it is the one that limits people the most. Mistake 7. Believing walking alone is enough for healthy aging. Please hear me clearly, because I love walking and I recommend it all the time. But walking is not the full story after 50. It is a foundation, not a complete house. If you walk faithfully but never challenge your strength, balance, or power, you can still lose muscle, still get less stable, and still find ordinary tasks getting harder. And here's the thing. Most people do not notice that decline until stairs, carrying bags, or getting up from a chair starts feeling strangely demanding. Walking is excellent for circulation, mood, metabolism, and general function. But muscles and bones need a more direct signal too. They need resistance. They need load. They need moments that tell the body, keep this tissue, we still use it. Otherwise, aging becomes a very efficient downsizing program. Less muscle, less reserve, less confidence. That is not dramatic language. That is just what happens when the body economizes. There was a randomized trial in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2017 involving obese adults aged 65 and older, showing that combining aerobic and resistance exercise improved physical function more than either approach alone. And systematic reviews of strength and balance training in older adults keep finding benefits for mobility, balance, and walking speed. So if you are relying on walking as your entire plan, I say this warmly, not critically, you are asking one tool to do every job in the box. What should you do tomorrow? Keep walking, absolutely. But twice a week, add 10 to 20 minutes of sit-to-stands, calf raises, wall push-ups, step-ups, or resistance band work. If balance is a concern, practice standing on one leg near a support. Start small. Start safely, but start. Because the goal is not just to walk more years. It is to stay capable inside those years. Honestly, this is where independence lives. Not in abstract health scores, but in whether you can catch yourself if you trip, lift a suitcase, climb a hill, play with grandchildren, or get off the floor without fear. That is the real prize. Longer life matters, of course, but a capable life is what most people are truly asking for. So, those are the 7 mistakes. Walking too gently all the time, collapsing your posture, believing huge step numbers are the only thing that counts, doing one walk and sitting the rest of the day, ignoring the power of walking after meals, walking stiffly and distracted, and expecting walking to do the entire job of exercise. None of these mistakes make you lazy or foolish. They make you human. You know, we all drift into convenient patterns. The good news is that patterns can change. If there is one message I want to leave you with, it is this. Walking is still one of the best medicines we have for healthy aging, but like any medicine, the dose, timing, and method matter. Get those right, and the payoff can be enormous. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this helped, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a gentle push to look after themselves. And if you want to go deeper, I have done other videos on mobility, blood sugar, strength, and living well after 50, so have a search around the channel and keep learning with me.